Hey there YouTube, it's Phantasma Knight. What's good everyone? So today I just randomly felt like doing another short writing stream. It was supposed to be a little longer, but I kept putting it off, like so many other things in life. But yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and just write a little bit. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a little more action-y piece. I haven't really thought out what I'm gonna do. I have a vague idea. This is what I have so far. Let's see, Wind Up Doll. A friend looked at this and gave me a few suggestions on stuff I could fix. I should probably do that. Well, this line can be made up on its own page. This one was also that first writing stream. This one was the second one, which I felt wasn't as strong. Well, I like this one decently. No, this one was the one that felt kind of weak to me. There's some decent details, but it felt kind of weak. And this was something I wrote in the past, and right, I was gonna write like a little blurb, like a little short poem-esque thing at the end to add to the end of each writing stream, but I haven't done it since. I only did it once. I forgot in my first stream, so I did my second stream. Anyway, we're gonna be writing a new page. Yeah, let's start the music and get started. Oh, right. Soundtrack is Frozen Synapse. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's a game that I never really got through. Wait, it's a mix? Is it? Huh. Well, it's not a remix, so maybe it's just the OST. Anyway, we're just gonna start the music and start writing. Alright, and let me turn down the volume a little bit. I seem to recall it was always too loud compared to my voice. I know my voice might not be the most interesting thing to listen to, but I hope it's interesting enough. Or at least it's not too grating. Anyway, okay, so what are we gonna start with? Let's see, first person, third person. Let's go third person. Right, I forgot. the text is larger than what I normally use. Size 14 font. Let's see. Thousand volts whiz pass. As he voted over. Yeah, vote over the truck. Why not? Thousand volts whiz passes a voter over the truck. A single. I don't want to use bolt again, but burst implies multiple hits, like, you know, burst fire. Let's see. A single blazing jolt struck him in the chest, but only burned through his shirt, barely even slowing him down. Yeah, let's see. As he landed, yeah, that's fine. As he landed, it took a split second to recover and bounce up. Let's see. No, let's rephrase that. He landed in a crouch, taking a split second to recover and bounce back up. In that time, he was hit thrice more. In the arm, in the leg, and on the side of his head. The first to vaporize fabric, and the last singed hair. Scorched hair? No, singed still is burned, right? Last singed hair. But none of them pierce the skin. His skin was, after all, let's see, how to describe this. Skin was, after all, composed of layers upon layers of ultralight protective layers upon layers of ultralight protective mesh. I was thinking about using the word mithril, like mithril scales, but this is clearly a sci-fi piece. Should I really bring up fancy words like that? Like, what's it? Like tiny, unbreakable scales. I wonder if that's good. Yeah, the thing I thought up was going to be even worse. I was going to say like the unbreakable scales of immortal lizard, but then of course I would just raise questions like, wait, do you have immortal lizards in this world? Swept a hand across his three attackers, and a plume is a feather. Would vent work? But vent's an object that something comes out of. Pillared implies verticality. Let's see. Let's whoa, that's a lot of stuff that you guys shouldn't be seeing. Let's see. Plume, synonym. A plume is a feather. Crest, quill, pinion. But yeah, these are all feathers. Let's see. Pillar. Post, column, prop, buttress, rod. Man, I can't think of the word. Stream. Let's go. It's gonna come out with a bunch of water stuff. Yep, brook. What the heck's it real? Runnel? Man, these are not things I'm used to. I was probably thinking it was a spout, but I don't know if that's right. Torrent is a good word. And a torrent of phlegm washed torrent and washed, and a torrent of flame washed across them. He could feel the fuel reservoir implanted into his arm slowly depleting. As his wrists, I'll just call it a wrist vent. As his wrist vent roasted his foes alive, Two of them shrieked, flail, and fell. While the last... While the third simply backed up in shock and horror. Protected by the heavy-powered suit he wore. Let's see, actually no, let's say just backed up in shock. Because now the horror comes. If you horrified words echoed from the armored helm, Dragon Rider. Yeah, it's a sci-fi thing about bringing dragons into it. You know why? Because even modern military, you have planes named things like Thunderbolt. And heck, you have planes named stuff like Bobcat. You have them named after animals, so why not name insane people stuff like Dragon Rider? You'll get to see the dragon in a little bit. At least it's better than just calling like the elites of the setting pilot. That's a little boring to me. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Titanfall. Let's see. Yeah, let's capitalize that. The rider emotionlessly stepped forward and thrust his other palm in front. Let's see, from this one, it wasn't a sweeping flame. It wasn't a sweeping flame that emitted. For this one, it wasn't a sweeping flame that appeared, but a thinner, more focused spike of plasma. The energy blade pierced. The energy blade pierced through the less protected parts of the suit. The gaps between the heavy plating. Gaps through the less protected parts of the suit. The gaps between the heavy plating and right. It. Not soldier. Let's say mercenary. I mean, I go in mercenaries a lot, but what else do I do? Soldiers, mercenary, bandits. I can go with terrorists. That's kind of a danger word, but let's go with it. Let's see. Plasma is supposed to be an ionized gas. Sorry, I was thinking of an image in my head, but I can't properly explain it. Maybe this isn't plasma, and the problem with writing things and knowing that it's wrong is that someone's gonna call you out on it. Because if you think it's a little wrong, it's probably really wrong. Like heck, I get annoyed when I see military folks in movies do something that's definitely wrong, and I barely have any experience. Like I don't have any. I don't have like any time deployed overseas or whatever. But let's see. Thinner, more focused spike of plasma. Missed that part. Let's see. Oh, right, I forgot to, never mind. It was just, on my Twitch stream, I just forgot to rename it to, like something like just writing. Can I just name it writing? Nope, I'm recording for a YouTube video. Screw it. Let's just leave the category blank and just put writing as a tag and be done with it. Okay, let's actually get back to the writing. Let's see. Energy blade pierce through, right to the terrorist's chest. Let's see. The liquid catalyst of the writer's plasma emitter. A single drop of liquid. Let's see. No. Let's rephrase that again. The writer's liquid, or the writer's plasma emitter. Shut off. A single drop of liquid catalyst of still blazing hot liquid catalyst fell upon well, it's on his wrist, then it shouldn't be. It shouldn't get on his arm, right? Although I guess it could have flew on him while he was stabbing. Maybe, I'm definitely overthinking this, but this is how I write. I usually waste more time thinking about stuff than when I write on stream, believe it or not. See, as the writer's plasma emitter shut off, a single drop of still blazing liquid catalyst splashed onto from its continuing momentum. That's definitely a run-on sentence. Let's not worry about it for now. Okay, well, I could fix this. I said I was gonna worry about it. His continued... No, just his momentum. His momentum splashed. Can't spell splash. That's just single drop of still hot liquid catalyst onto him. Where the burning liquid hit him, where the burning liquid came into contact with his skin, as well as the 4 scorch marks. Where the burning liquid came into contact with skin, as well as the 4 scorch marks from the earlier gun. That's an odd sentence. Let's see, the spot where the burning liquid came into contact with the skin, as well as where the force as well as where the 4 plasma shots scorched him. Revealed slightly I don't know if discolor is the right word. Okay, I'm overthinking it. Previously I had this idea where his skin would be like dragon scales, and the only reason why they don't look like scales is because there's like some kind of a matte colored gel, like basically a non-shiny gel, that makes it so that it looks like smooth skin until you get hit with, like, you know, gunshots or whatever. But I already described the skin earlier, and I described it as protective mesh. So this is unnecessary and or won't work. Let's see. As well as where the 4 plasma shots scorched him. Look nearly blackened. As if the low damage only scraped off the paint of his true. Only scraped the. No, not scrapped. Scraped. As if the low damage only scraped the paint from his true skin. Now let's take out the. As if the low damage only scraped paint from his true skin. He actually was hurt, and it would take a bit of time and resources to repair the seemingly smooth mesh. But he couldn't. He actually was hurt, and it would take a bit of time and resources to repair the seemingly smooth mesh. But he couldn't feel any of it due to the various regulators and microcomputers running within his body. Let's see. The rifle had penetrated quite deep into the makeshift into the makeshift fort before he was detected. But now there was no more time for subtlety. Sorry, right now I'm thinking about like mecha robot anime. Not that I've seen a lot of the old school ones, but don't they always like strike a pose or something when they summon their mechs, like in Power Rangers and such? How can I incorporate that into this and still make it sound fairly serious? It's gonna sound silly no matter how I do it. He shifted into a stance of sorts. An activation procedure. Oh my god, this sounds silly already. No, this is too silly. Let's not think too hard about that. An activation procedure for his partner. And finalized it with a skyward thrust of his hand. See. Up ahead, the walls. Plasteel, I want to say is a Star Wars material, but it's not showing as a typo here, so or as a spelling error. I wonder about that. Up ahead, the walls of plasteel. With their the walls of plasteel reinforced with bolted on ship scrap. Spaceship. Yeah, sure. With bolted on a straight. I don't know. Is there a point bringing spaceships into this? Screw it, let's go with it. Spaceship scrap. I was gonna say bristled. Roared with life? That's a little too generic, I think. Came alive with activity. That's something I've seen before too, but I like it well enough. Came alive with activity. Shouts were heard, as were the sounds of weapons powering up. Okay, if they're using makeshift, if they have a makeshift fort, would they really have anti-aircraft turrets? Oh yeah, they managed to get ship plating here and bolted on to their walls. Anti-aircraft turrets said jutted out from numerous points all over the fort. a few of them even targeted the rider. Few of them even target the rider. But exploded. Let's see. Where we're struck with azure light and exploded. Was struck with azure light from behind the rider and exploded. From behind him. I used rider a few times already. Let's use him this time. Azure light that came from behind him. Okay, that's awkward because it changes subjects. I don't know if it's really changing subjects, but behind him kind of feels like the subject, that little portion, and then exploded. Struck by azure light and exploded. The light came from behind him, and its source quickly approached. A mechanical monstrosity landed with an impact that rattled the ground. That made the earth rumble. Made the ground rumble. That's fine. Let's see. His chest loosened. His chest plates loosened. His chest plates loosened, and then its stomach portion opened. Revealing a capsule the size of a small vehicle. As the rider leapt towards the stomach portion opened already. Split open, that's fine. So right left towards capsules. I wanted a yawning lid, but I don't know if that's the right word. Also, it paints kind of a funny image. Strider left towards the capsule's gaping lid. Let's see. As the rider left towards the capsule, its lid slid open. And multitudes of cables multitudes of cables of. I was gonna say of varying sizes. Multitudes of cable shot towards him. And changing subjects again. No. It's the whole sentence is still one subject. The writer left towards the capsule. The cable shot towards him. I think that works well enough. Yeah, whenever a friend reads over any of my stuff, I always have lots of suggestions. Now, it's cool if you can make it so it's like, oh, there are multiple ways to interpret this story, but the fact is, it seemed like I have trouble portraying my version of the story. Maybe I'm not a good writer after all. That's fine, that's not what the stream is about. Let's keep writing. Slid open, multitudes of cable shot towards him. The scale-like mesh of his skin split open. Well, I already split open. Look, when you write a novel, you're definitely gonna have repeating stuff. I just wanted to put enough variety that it doesn't repeat too much, and especially because this isn't a novel, this is just like a one-off thing. Maybe I'll continue sometime, but it's unlikely. I don't continue my stuff. Bad habit, especially if you want to write a full novel. Then it's unfortunate. Okay. The scales like mesh of his skin split in 100 different places. Giving way to the cables. Giving way to the cables of various sizes. Giving way to the cables of varying sizes. Jolt after jolt. I used jolt earlier for the plasma shot, whatever. Jolt after jolt rattled the writer's brain as extreme amounts of data streamed into and from the machine. Or, no, well, into and from him. That's fine. Although he's clear connected to the machine now. The snake pit of wires and of cords and wire. I don't know which one's better. The snake pit of cords and wires gently pulled him in, welcoming him back into his throne. Okay, I think this is a good place for a new paragraph. With its prize, maybe not prize. With its objective successfully interred. I know interred means like putting someone in like a grave or a coffin. but I think the imagery is fitting here. The capsule slid back inside the stomach, which closed and then was secured in place. No, not palace. By the giant machine's shifting chessboard. Giant machine's shifting plates. There were no monitors. There were no lights, monitors, or displays of any sort inside the capsule. And yet, the writer could now see everything. From the number of foes feebly turning small arms as in like handheld weapons, like assault rifles and so on. From the number of foes on foot, feebly turning small arms in his direction. To the energy signature of the mini reactor powering the terrorist base. I'm gonna shift back here because I mean he just brought in his mech basically, but like why couldn't he just do that from the beginning? So I have to come up with something here. He had enough data from scouting around that he was now confident in that direct assault. Okay, there we go. Let's just energy signature of the portable mini reactor airspace. In its current state, it was a bit wrong to call the writer, to call him a writer. Machine 2 was far too humanoid for anyone to mistake it as a mythical dragon. Okay, sorry about that. That was something in real life. I think I properly muted. I think I properly unmuted. Okay. It was far too humanoid for anyone to mistake it as a mythical dragon. However, However, as the mech lunged forward and leapt into the air, with the deafening roar of turbines, well, turbines is like spinning fans, right? Let's call them rocket engines. I don't know if that's the proper term for them. There, with the deafening roar of rocket engines. The terror instilled was very reminiscent. I misspelled reminiscent. Reminiscent. Nope, still misspelled it. Nope, it was reminiscent. The word's popping up right there, but I'm not letting it stay there long enough to actually see it. Okay, the I right there is wrong. Okay, reminiscent. Scent. Okay, fine. It was very reminiscent of a primitive village being burned from the sky. No, let's move the sentence to the next paragraph. I should probably end the stream soon. Got work in the morning and all that. In its current state, it was a bit wrong to call him a writer. He wasn't affected by the G-forces that would affected by the G-forces that would crush the human. That would crush the human as they toss around in a Okay, I was gonna just randomly say like 50 tons. How heavy is a rocket? Ignore any fill-in-the-blank suggestions you see. Space rocket tons. A few thousand tons. Yeesh. Okay, well this thing isn't a rocket. How heavy is a Titan in Titanfall? Yeah, good enough for me. I was infected by the G-forces that would crush a human as they toss around in a 50-ton war machine. In a rapidly moving 50-ton war machine. Rapidly accelerating 50-ton war machine. Let's see. Oh, let's add an extra line up there talking about how smooth the mech moves. Its movements were too lifeline. I have to think of it as a mere aircraft, or I think aircraft is sort of plural at the same time. It was too live. Think of it as mere aircraft. Okay, I'm trying to imagine a scene right now. I can't think of a good description. I could kind of think of the scene. I'm thinking of it like lurching side to side, but how do you describe it in a way that makes it sound human-like, as opposed to a machine? I can't properly describe it. So we're too alive, think of it as mere aircraft. But the way it shifted, but the way it turned its body to avoid a rail cannon shot. But the way it preemptively turned its body to avoid a rail cannon shot. Or how it bunched up its body before shooting forward with increased speed. Whoops. He couldn't feel it. He couldn't feel anything from his body, from his little wire-ridden body. From his wire-entangled body. Can I take out that? It's a bit cheap, but I'm wondering if I could take out like dashes here and there. Partially because I feel like I use them too much, and partially because that would count as one word for NaNoWriMo. Oh, rapidly accelerating here as a dash, so Actually, they shouldn't need a dash here. This one is even less ambiguous. In a rapidly accelerating war machine, he couldn't feel anything from his wire-entangled body. I think I need a dash there. But he can see Is he in the fort or is he approaching the fort? Okay, so he's in the fort. Over the fort's core facility. There we go. But he could see his foes clearly. He could see his foes clearly. Feel the wind on his body. And feel the heat from barely missed. Feel the heat from barely missed gunshots. Doesn't sound right. Although apparently there's a word like gun is used as a word for like certain types of artillery, like the kind that fires in a straight line. A howitzer fires in an arc. Apparently the American military uses gun howitzers, not just howitzers, because they could fire straight or they can fire in an arc. Indirect fire, as they call it. Now just got shots. Right now, he wasn't simply. Right now, he wasn't simply riding. He was simply riding the dragon. He was the dragon. No. He wasn't simply riding the dragon. He was more like its heart. As long as he continued to live, the dragon's heart continued to beat. I need a better finisher. I think the music just ended too. It was more like its heart. As long as it continued to live, the dragon's heart continued to beat. It wasn't just more like its heart. He was its heart. He was his heart. As long as he continued to live, the dragon would continue to pulse with life. I just went quiet for a little bit, but I can't think of anything good to finish this up. I can't think of like what to call this either. This whole incident, the dragon's assault, the dragon's descent. Nothing seems to work exactly. The dragon's reign of terror. You know what? Screw it. Let's just stop right there. It's not a great ending, but it's not a great ending, but I think it works well enough. Let's go Dragon's Heart. Let's see, which one was it? Heading 3? Ooh, no, that's small. Heading 2. Wait, no, that's too small. That's because I'm using size 14 font. Okay, that works. Okay. Dragon's Heart. Plasma... Plasma bolts whizzed past as he vaulted over the truck. A single blazing jolt struck him in the chest, but only burned through his shirt, barely even slowing him down. He landed in a crouch, taking a split second to recover and bounce back up. In that time, he was hit thrice more, in the arm, in the leg, and on the side of his head. The first two vaporized fabric, and the last singed hair, but none of them pierced the skin. His skin was, after all, composed of layers upon layers of ultralight protective mesh, like tiny, unbreakable scales. He swept a hand across his three attackers, and a torrent of flame washed across them. He could feel the fuel reservoir implanted into his arm slowly depleting as his wrist vent roasted his foes alive. Two of them shrieked, flailed, and fell, while the third simply backed up in shock, protected by the heavy powered suit he wore. A few horrified words echoed from the armored helm. Dragon Rider. The rider emotionlessly stepped forward and thrust his other palm in front. From this one, it wasn't a sweeping flame that appeared, but a thinner, more focused spike of plasma. The energy blade pierced through the less protected parts of the suit, the gaps between the heavy plating, and right into the terrorist's chest. As the rider's plasma emitter shut off, his momentum splashed a single drop of steel-hot liquid catalyst onto him. The spot where the burning liquid came into contact with his skin, as well as where the 4 plasma shots scorched him, looked merely blackened, as if the little damage only scraped paint from his true skin. He actually was hurt, and it would take a bit of time and resources to repair the seemingly smooth mesh, but he couldn't feel any of it due to the various regulators and microcomputers running within his body. The rider had penetrated quite deep into the makeshift fort before he was detected, but now there was no more time for subtlety. He had enough data from scouting around that he was now confident in a direct assault. He shifted into a stance of sorts, an activation procedure for his partner, and then finalized with a skyward thrust of his hand. Up ahead, the walls of plasteel, reinforced with bolted-on starship scrap, came alive with activity. Shouts were heard, as were the sounds of weapons powering up. Anti-aircraft turrets jutted out from numerous points all over the fort's core facility. Sorry, I was checking over the skin. A few of them even targeted the rider, but were struck with azure light and exploded. The light came from behind him, and its source quickly approached. A mechanical monstrosity landed with an impact that made the ground rumble. His chest plate loosened, and then his stomach portion opened, revealing a capsule the size of a small vehicle. As the rider leapt towards the capsule, its lid slid open and multitudes of cables shot towards him. The scales-like mesh of his skin split in 100 different places, giving way to the cables of varying sizes. Jolt after jolt rattled the rider's brain as extreme amounts of data streamed into and from him. The snake pit of cords and wires gently pulled him in, welcoming him back into his throne. With its objective successfully interred, the capsule slid back inside the stomach, which closed and then was secured in place by the giant machine's shifting plates. There were no lights, monitors, or displays of any sort inside the capsule. No, normally I use nor here. I don't know if that's completely accurate, but it's a habit of mine. No lights, monitors, nor capsule. Okay, nor usually is just two things. No lights nor monitors, but here I think or works better. I don't know, it just sounds better to me. There were no lights, monitors, or displays of any sort inside the capsule, and yet the rider could now see everything, from the number of foes on foot feebly turning small arms in its direction, to the energy signature of the portable mini-reactor powering the terrace base. The machine was far too humanoid for anyone to mistake it as a mythical dragon. However, as the machine lunged forward and leapt into the air with the deafening roar of rocket engines, the terror it still was very reminiscent of a primitive village being burned from the sky. Its movements were too alive to think of it as mere aircraft, with the way it preemptively turned his body to avoid a rail cannon shot, or how it bunched up its body before shooting forward with increased speed, or just how it bunched up. In his current state, it was a bit wrong to call him a rider. He wasn't affected by the G-forces that would crush a human as they toss around in a rapidly accelerating 50-ton war machine. He couldn't feel anything from his wired and tangled body, but he could see his foes clearly, feel the wind on his body, and feel the heat from barely missed shots. Right now, he wasn't simply riding the dragon, he was its heart. As long as he continued to live, the dragon would continue to pulse with life. And yeah, that wasn't bad. I actually spent a bit over an hour on it, but not bad. I'm glad I could still keep up my writing. I feel like I'd make a better career out of streaming than writing, assuming I get the audience. But it's still nice to write once in a while. A way for me to let out random daydreams, I guess. Not exactly the best artist, so yeah, this is what I got. So today it was just the dragon's heart. Let's add to the table of contents, shall we? Yep. And that's all I got for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Whether the writing stream or the final story. But yeah. And I think I'm gonna go sleep now. Until next time, goodbye.